All right, working on this iPhone XS Max. It actually was run over, so the screen was damaged, the back was damaged, and that was replaced by another shop, and then they realized that it actually does not work properly. So the touch is not working. It actually was turning on and freezing up. And I took a look at the board. It was a little bit crooked, so I separated the top portion. And here what we have, we actually have several, like I think I counted like about 25 missing missing contacts, ripped contacts from the top board. And I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about right here. Yeah, see what I'm talking about? Those legs are actually gone. And on this side, this is let me see, this is how it looks on this side. The pads, actually the pads, it's supposed to be on that part of the board, are actually on this. So, and yeah, I didn't cause it basically because it was melted properly, you know, the board was moving, so it definitely did not cause this. It was caused by the run over actually. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fix those contacts on this board, on this part, to add contacts, and then I'm gonna remove those little pads from the pins I'm repairing, because I don't have to fix all 25 pins, because most of them actually are ground pins, and those I can skip because it has enough ground pins on the board. But the ones I'm trying to fix are the ones that are needed for this phone to work. And this is my progress here. I fixed one already. I added a little wire, so this is the wire I'm using. This 0.02 millimeter wire, and this is the way it looks right now on one of the pin right here. And then I'm gonna cover it in UV mask, cure it, and then scrape it out to make a contact, because I have to basically erase those contacts. So you see those contacts, they are under the surface of the actual board, so I have to erase these contacts with that wire, and then apply a little low melt solder and put everything back together. But this is my progress, so let's continue. And this is basically what I'm talking about. I'm using the phone board application. Is iPhone XS Max open here, so I'm just basically counting, whenever I see the broken pin, I'm just counting, which one it is. So like right now, you saw on just a little bit there that I fixed 3 pins in that area, and this pin actually is missing 2 right there, but it's a ground pin, so I'm not fixing that. I have a lot more pins that I need, the necessary pins I need to fix, so I'm not messing with the ground pins. So let's continue. Sharing the progress as I go, and actually what I want to share is how I'm getting a little better at it. This is actually the first time repairing these pads on iPhone, so I get a little better. I started kind of twisting them around, as you can see, so making a circle, so this way it will be easier for me to, and more surface to put the low temperature melting solder back. So so they're gonna get a better contact and more contact surface too. So yeah, this is the ones I did before, so these are not as nice and as the last ones actually. So moving along, I did quite a few already, but I still have some left, so let's continue on my process here. First thing, I cleaned up my eyepieces. Yeah, they might look good now, a little better, but being serious, what I'm doing here actually is I don't have the melt low temperature melt solder. I ordered it, but it did not show up yet. I need to finish this board, so I'm using actually the low temp melt solder from this iPhone X connection board. So what I'm doing is actually I'm just cutting the little pieces. Let me see where I left off. I'm just, just cutting the little pieces out of it. I'm just putting them, those little pieces on my XS board right here. I'm just cutting the little pieces, and I'm putting them on this the contacts I made, and I'm using the hot air. I'm using what I think I'm using 560 on my Hakko. FR802, 560 temperature, just to melt this solder and not to make any damage to the components. This is pretty low temperature. So, and this is the way it's coming out. It's not too much solder there, but it's good enough to make a connection. Let me see if you can see that. Right there. Right here. Those connection I made. So it's coming out pretty good actually. That's that missing pin, it's a ground, so I didn't worry about that one. So this is the progress actually on this board. So move it along. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm actually taking out those pads from the other side of the board. I'm still using 560 Fahrenheit on my Hakko station, and I'm just really low volume of air, and I'm just heating them up and kind of just removing those top. Hope you can see that. Yeah, just removing those top pieces. Just barely a little bit on the top, and just go ahead and remove those little pads. So I'm using just a little bit heat, so not to melt the solder, but just to barely unhook those pads, so the amount of solder is still left on that board, the amount we need to make a proper connection there. Just a little bit. Here we go. My tweezers, and here we go. Moving along. Also, I want to talk to you about these little pads. This all around the board. These little pads, little flat pads right there. I picked one up. I'll do it back. These pads are actually really important because I see a lot of videos, people just using the wick and cleaning the board and just putting new solder, like using that stencil and put low melt solder and just putting the thing on top. Is they're not reusing those little metal things, and I think they are really important actually. What it does is actually making a little, as far as I understand, it's just a little gap, a little gap is still left there, and it prevents from these soldering joints from these points, so they do not breach. That's what I think they're for. And I'm not sure, I see people like reballing this stuff and not reusing this. I think they have to be reused. So that's why I'm trying to, when I pull this board out, I'm trying to save all the low melt solder so I don't have to deal with it. And the board is still in kind of its original state. So I just wanted to mention that too. So board is back on the heating pad, and we have let me see, is it on? Okay, turn it back on. 185. The board was I made sure the board is straight there, and we are doing the process of fusing them back together and hoping that this repair went successfully. We'll see. Also forgot to mention that I did apply flux on both sides, fresh flux. So hope it help the solder to melt properly. I'm really hoping for the successful repair on this one, because it definitely took me some time to rebuild all those pads, and it's been like well, at least I would say 15 of those. So we'll see. Right, so I had to actually turn it off and cool down the board so I can put some weight actually on this side of the board, because what was happening is that side was getting back together pretty good, but on this side it was sticking out, this part of the board, so it wasn't melting properly because it was basically run over. But I can do this, I can put some weight on it, because I did not remove those metal like spacers, like those little metal spacers still present on the board. So this way the weight is not gonna cause any bridges in the solder, because those spacers gonna prevent from these two pieces of the board to stick too tight. And this is the real cool thing about those spacers. If you save them, you can do this kind of stuff. If you didn't save them, and if you just rebolt the board, there's no way you can do this stuff, because you're gonna definitely breach some contacts there. But as you can see, it's actually moving. It is melting. It's 171, but it's coming along actually. This is pretty cool. I hope it's not sticking up on that side now. No, it should be fine, because the weight is pretty distributed, I believe. So, well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, but it's already a lot better than it used to be before. I hope I can catch the melting process, but I don't think I'll be able to. Yep, 185 it reached the temperature. So it's just when it reaches the temperature, it's usually like it's just a little bit more, like another 2, 3, 5 minutes. because when it actually reaches that temperature 185, usually solder is already melted, but it's definitely looking pretty good, I think. All right. So I had to redo it again, basically, because I was applying pressure on one side of the top board, the other one was sticking up. Yeah, not much, but a little bit. And you know, I was not sure if it was making a contact there. And so this is the solution I came up with. You know, I put two coins there on each side. This is my sharpening stone, an Apple charger, 85 watt. So as I said earlier, you know, you can do this if you left those spacers on the middle board. You cannot do this if you just rebolt that stuff, because it's, you know, it's not gonna work. But this, I think this is by you know, it's already cooling down. I think this is this will do fine, because I just checked, you know, both sides are pretty flat. You know, looks, this one should do. I just have to let it cool down for well, for at least like 20 minutes, I think, maybe even more. But we'll keep you updated. Well, we got our board all back in one piece. Just a little bit there, you know, on that side right there, you know, I'm not 100% sure about, but I think this is the best, because it's been crooked, so I think this is the best I can do on this board. The best, I mean, right now. I mean, you know, if it's not gonna work, you know, we'll have to do something else. We have to probably, you know, push that little corner a little more, maybe just heat up just that portion of the board. But I prefer for it to be in one piece, you know, with all the whole surface of the board touching the, you know, the bottom part, because, you know, if you're gonna start heating up the other parts of the board, you know, it might not be good for the board. You know, it might make some fault points. You know, it will try to stick back up and gonna rip another contact or so. But you know, let's see. You know, I got the screen now, so I got the screen. The guy from the shop gave me the screen to test it. So let's go ahead, connect the screen, connect our iPower Max. I love this thing. This is really cool. This is the proper adapter for the XS and XS and XX Max. So let's connect that. I don't have no power, so power disconnected. So let me connect all this stuff. Okay. So let's see. Okay, power on, power button. Okay, we got the Apple logo. That's real good. I mean, they've had Apple logo before, but it was just not booting. It was just freezing up completely. Like, you know, I hope it's gonna boot. I really hope. It was lots of work actually involved in fixing this thing. Okay, it boot up, and we do have the touchscreen. Beautiful. So we're gonna call this success, I guess. I mean, it's definitely not what it used to be. So thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe. And if you learn something from it, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much. Bye bye.